Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I am Martelle, and happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there and all the mothers acting as dads. Today, on this episode, we talk about some religion. This is an episode from like way back in February that we recorded as part of like a 4-hour recording session with Jimmy from TrueFit Athletics. We get into some religion talk. I tell the story about like back in the day with one of my best friends, Carl, who is now my boss, and kind of beating up his sister's boyfriend. And then we get into some other stuff. We were pretty drunk at this point. We had gone through about 5 bottles of whiskey that we were sampling. Anyway, it's a shorter episode. It's only about 30-ish minutes. But sit back, relax, enjoy it. We'll be on vacation for about the next 3 weeks after this episode. We're going to take a little summer hiatus. Enjoy the summer. But we should be back after around middle of July. But anyway, here's the show. Enjoy. Later.
So I got a discussion last night with a guy that on the car forum, in the chat box, a guy that was very rough said, I started working he's a mechanic. So I started going to church because every day the owner and these other guys come into the office, we open with prayer. So I started seeing what their church was about. And he's like, I believe in God, but I don't, he's just kind of looking. He said, I believe there is a God. I don't know about the Jesus and the story and all this and like there's stuff I have questions about. And a couple guys were like, I don't believe in any of that bull crap. You're brainwashed. It's a cult. One guy was like, you either believe the Bible or you don't, which I was like, okay, well, the Old Testament and the New Testament are two very different things.
Very different things.
Right.
When Christ was crucified, the veil was torn. The old law was abolished. You can't tell me that a law given to Levitican priests applies to me today. I'm not a Levitican priest from before Christ, So we got a discussion. One of them was like, one of the guys asked, what do you think about homosexuals? He was like, yeah, I believe what I believe, but do what you want. Mm-hmm. And my thing was the verse that gets pointed to the most is from the Old Testament, and those times was man shall not lay with man.
Yeah.
The original Greek technically translates to man shall not lay with boy and speaks on pedophilia, not homosexuality.
At the same time, though.
So when I put that out there and I linked an article on that in the actual translation of the Greek, which was written, not what King James said was good to go, everybody's kind of like it just kind of ended that conversation. And I went, why are we so worried about who's gay and who's not?
And at the same time, I think Christianity gets a big, hit on the homosexuality thing.
It gets a hit on a lot of things.
It gets hit on a lot of things.
But the thing is Christianity should be more about love each other.
Here's the thing.
Regardless.
So many people, now, we talk about the 10 Commandments, right?
Yeah.
We've seen it on state house, courthouses. People get mad about that.
There was a movie about it.
There was
Thanks,
a couple.
Charlton Heston.
With Charlton Heston.
I almost said Helston.
You did. Helston.
Charleston, go to Heston.
Helston.
The 10 Commandments, again, if you want to take the Bible for what you were taught growing up and not research it yourself, because some old people told you if you don't dress right, you're going to hell.
Right.
If you don't say the right words, you're going to hell. If you don't pray the right prayer, you're going to hell. That's on you.
Right.
When Christ died and the old law was abolished, Christ gave a very simple answer when somebody said, hey, how do we judge people? Hey, what's the deal? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Love other people. That's
love
it.
God.
Those
love
people will inherit the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to love God, that's fine. No problem. That's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to love God but hate people, that's your choice. But here's what you do. Love God and don't be a freaking douche.
That's
all it takes to be a Christian.
Yeah.
That comes back to just toxic masculinity. Don't be an asshole.
Right, exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's what the Bible says. Which it always, and I had this conversation recently with my parents about curse words. You go to England or you go to Ireland, man, they cuss up a storm. Christians.
Yeah, they use cunt like it's a fucking pause.
But most people consider cunt a dirty word. Sorry, Mom. Not a curse word.
Sorry, Mom.
You know, the F-bomb, the S word, the
Yeah.
B word, the two B bourbon. You know,
Shit and bitch.
there are these certain words that people go, that's wrong, and as Christians, you say, I agree, you should say them, but the Bible says don't speak out of anger.
And
Do
at the
not
end
let
of the
anger
day,
in your heart.
it also
All it
says-
says as far as getting to heaven is love God and love people.
And we
Right.
we are not to speak sin into others' lives.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like what somebody else does.
So if you're still listening to this podcast, sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
we are not like
And
out
here's the
there
thing- here's the thing.
to judge each individual for what they do. As a Christian, you're supposed to just love people.
Yeah.
And
That's it. And that's what people have a
I
hard
will
hand
take it
for.
a step further than that. Not just as a Christian, as a human being.
Well, but
It has nothing to do with religion.
Here's the-
Because I'm not a religious person.
you're not.
It is.
Right.
It is a human being.
Human being.
Human being.
It's a human being that you must love. While they're at the urinal, you just go right up behind them and
Right.
give them a hug.
Just
Peeing
give them a
on
hug
them.
at the urinal.
Start peeing on them.
Start peeing.
R.
on them.
Kelly, that person.
That's
And
right.
say, I love you and walk out.
As a human being, it has nothing to do with religion. I mean, as a human being, just don't
That's
be an
fair.
asshole.
Don't be a dick. Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Now, here's something funny, too. We have three guys here. You grew up in church,
I did
but
absolutely.
you're not a believer now.
What it has nothing to do with not being a believer.
No, I'm just asking.
no. It is
I'm not talking about whether you're a jerk or not.
no. I get that. So it is not being a
I'm just saying we're
believer.
from three very different upbringings and
Right,
backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the church. I grew up in a funeral home.
Literally. He lived in the funeral
Literally,
home.
I grew up in a funeral home background. I ran around a funeral home growing up.
Outside, he did laps.
I did laps. I did laps around a funeral
Hashtag
home.
TFA.
Right.
I grew up until about the age of 13. I grew up in doing Christian sermons for children's services. I grew up doing a lot of Christian-based, like, I don't know what to call it, the CYC. It was the Christian Youth
Yeah.
Council. Until I was removed from that because I had to actually go to a family function. I couldn't make it to a Christian Youth Council event, and they kicked me out.
And
because
that's where
I couldn't make
religion gets in the way of faith.
And that's where
To be honest, Jesus wasn't about religion.
No,
So-
he hated it.
so, and that's where, and
Of
that's
137 sermons that Christ gave in the Bible, you know how many were in a synagogue or a temple?
none.
12.
Yeah.
Something like
not
that.
many.
I may be a little
So-
off, but
So, and that's where I kind of started removing myself from where this versus that
yeah.
was about the age of 13. Whereas there was, I still went to church, and then I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to start removing myself from this, like this organized religion thing.
Right.
was
And I'm with you on that.
was a scam. I still believe in this stuff. I don't believe in this stuff.
Now,
And then I started to evolve. So it's not that I don't believe in church or Christ or
you
this,
just
that,
don't
and the other.
believe in the people
I don't
telling
believe
you
in
who Christ is and what you should do.
Right.
The tradition and the
in
the religion of it.
right.
The what am I looking for? Almost cult-like practice of you have to do this to get to heaven.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. There we go.
The
So-
legalities of you have to dress this way, wear this thing, say this thing, eat this thing, do
yes.
this at this time,
Which is,
Right.
is
which I agree with.
so
totally
as somebody who grew up
not
in a lot of that.
about what Christianity really is about. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
It's
Exactly.
not. But for centuries,
Right.
not just decades or years, centuries, we were taught that you do these things and that makes you a better person, Christian.
Right.
You could be cheating on your wife as long as nobody knew about it, and you did everything else.
Right,
People
yeah.
thought you were a great Christian.
And
You
let's
could
be clear.
murdering people.
Right.
But as long as you were dressing right and driving the nice car and praying and had a Bible on your end table, you were going to heaven.
let's be clear. I am a horrible person.
Amen.
I am an
That'll pay.
Amen. He said.
I am a horrible person.
Great pastor right now. Keep going.
Versus, what everything says. Like
You're not
I-
a horrible person.
I
You're really
cuss.
We
I
love
mean,
you,
I
Martelle.
No,
I-
here's the thing about cussing.
I smack my
And I wanna
children
say,
on the
Mama,
butt.
here's the
I mean,
thing.
I am a horrible person.
Hold on, let me stop you on cussing.
versus what they
As
say.
somebody who has been a youth pastor for over 10 years, I still consider myself very much a follower of Christ and somebody who loves people. I talk big game online, but people that made me go, oh, you're actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I
pride
have.
myself in that. I don't give a shit what word you say.
He just
Sorry,
said-
Mom.
He just said shit.
Oh my God, you
but
said
there's not a
shit.
place in the Bible that says you can't say these words. Not one freaking place, and I've read the Bible front to
Right.
back.
It says
the Bible
not to be vulgar
don't
in
speak out
other
of,
people's presence.
Don't be vulgar, and don't speak with anger in your heart.
Yeah.
Right. And I
So
don't
if you
speak with
say,
anger. I mean, I
"Snickerdoodle
tell
poopy
people.
dog," and you're mad
Whoa.
about it.
Dude,
That's
I can't
just as
believe you
bad.
just
It's
said
not
that.
a list of words. That's a culture thing in America.
So,
dog.
You're not a bad person.
There
You're a
are-
husband, father. You just don't have any friends because you're an angry old elf.
Yeah. So, I bet
in Florida, you'd be an awesome person. You just hate Ohio.
I just hate Ohio.
You hate cold weather.
I absolutely hate all. I hate.
You're not a bad person, though.
I hate. So I will go out of my way for friends. I will go out of my way
All
for my
three of us.
neighbors. I will if I honest to God, I know my boss isn't listening to this. He used to be an absolute friend of mine, like someone that I absolutely went out of my way for
You'd be
his
the little spoon for.
Can I just say that
For
Martelle helped organize us getting a ski erg one time?
Yeah, I mean, I went. I mean, we have
He went
a
out and
ski
did it.
erg in
Yeah. We won a ski erg at a competition for having the most people
ski
signed up.
erg?
One of
Ski
those
erg.
thi- one
Like
of
an
those
Olympics,
ones-
like a person that skis, you want a skier.
we won that
I
person.
think that's human trafficking.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Is that what that
but
dude's been standing over there in that box for this
that
whole time?
dude,
He's
all he
not
does
allowed
is
to
stand
move.
over
Are
there.
you okay, sir?
We feed
No.
him bourbon and macaroni and cheese.
You're not allowed
Wait,
to talk
hold
to
on.
him. He doesn't
Is that
speak.
position open? Bourbon, mac and cheese, and I have no other responsibility.
Right.
In.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy doesn't speak.
But no, Martelle
it's
went
a
out of his way
ski
to-
erg.
He went out of his way to help us.
Get a
Gain
piece of
that.
equipment
I mean,
for the gym.
The guy
without them knowing.
Yeah, we didn't even know it was happening. So yeah,
so-
Martelle's great heart. You know,
And that's the thing. It has nothing to do with
so-
religion. I'm
Yeah.
air quoting.
So let me just go on and say, like, it is one of those things. Like, if I consider you family, I will go out of my way to do anything for that person.
We have him in my zipper.
Yes, if that's what you need, I will zip. I will tuck
I
your
don't
junk
need it,
in.
but what if I want
he
it?
will zip the hell out of that.
If your junk needs tucked in, I will tuck your junk in, and I will
it's
zip
always
you up.
tucked in.
Does
What
it
if I need
need
help getting it
tucked
out?
in or tucked under?
What if I need help getting my Outie?
If-
or
if-
my innie out?
If you need your
tucked in
innie
or
out,
tucked
I will
under? That's the
I'll get it out. But let me
It
give
needs
you a scenario.
extracted.
Let me give you a scenario of what it is that I will do as a person. So my current boss, I haven't talked to my current boss in 15 years. This is a guy.
How?
Okay, here we go. So this
That
is a
wasn't just Native
backstory.
American me.
No, I know.
Speaking, but how?
So this is a guy that I haven't talked to
Racist.
in 15 years. He is now my boss.
Okay.
He used to be my best friend. We used to hang out on the regular. Like, I would go over to his parents' house. We would work on Volkswagens. We hung out. We drank constantly. I would hang out at his house. We would go do things on the weekend. This is something we did all the time. I know his family very well. I know his dad. I know his mom. I know what they do all the time. I know his sisters.
Quit looking in their windows at night.
No, it is not a peeping Tom situation. Like, I know
It's a
Joe.
peeping Martelle situation.
I know.
It's a photo booth.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie Photo Booth with Robin Williams?
No, but I'm going to look it up because I'm a
You should
Robin.
look it
I'm
up.
a Robin Williams fan. But I know, like, Joanna. I know Angela. Or Angelica. Sorry. I know his parents. I know what they do.
I hope that wasn't on the mic.
It was.
I hope it was.
But I
trying to be
know his family very, very well.
Okay.
I met him through the Volkswagen Club that you and I were in, Randy.
Ohio V-Dub.
Ohio VW.
out.
That's how him and I met.
OV-dub.
Old school.
So he was having a party down at his place on campus,
Okay.
and his sister's boyfriend, he was grabbing her by the arm.
That's
like,
cool.
we need to go. Like, we're leaving. We need to go. I snatched that dude up, and, like, you don't touch her, and literally ran him headfirst into a steel door. Took his ass outside, and be like, we don't do that. He grabbed me up by the throat, like, literally, like, grabbed me by the throat, tried to choke me. I'm like,
Troke.
troke.
See, I was going to let that one go because I knew you were
No.
going to pick it up.
So we'll say troke to choke. I'm like, you're going to
It's
need
like
to
a
do.
try to choke. You
Tried to choke. Tried to choke. God, you assholes. Tried
You're
to
such a
choke.
smart dude. Why can't you talk or type?
We love it.
I cannot pronunciate words.
or pronounce them, or enunciate.
I cannot enunciate or pronounce.
Like, seriously, you're like one of the smartest guys I know.
My mind runs too fast. I have ADD.
Yeah.
So it was one of the things where he tried to choke me, and I'm like, you're gonna have to do better than that. So he attempted
You got
to,
such a big old giant.
because I got such a
neck.
fat neck.
Strong.
Because he works out at TrueFit Athletics in Lancaster,
Well,
Ohio.
this is well before it's
exactly.
TFA.
Shh, give him a shout.
So him and I kind of went at it. Threw his ass out. He
What
comes
about
back.
the rest of him?
Well, I just took his ass and threw it out. I threw his ass out. I didn't care about the rest of it.
Right.
Threw his ass out of the party. He comes back. Run down the hallway again, head first, right into the steel door.
Dang.
Oh, this number 2. We go outside, knock his ass out, throw him out of this. We're down on OSU campus, so someone being passed out, no big deal.
Right.
Throw his ass out, and I tell Carl, fuck it, whatever, Carl. Tell Carl, I'm like, hey,
That's his name.
hey, I threw Joanna's boyfriend outside.
Hey, Carl. Good to see you.
Now, I still,
Billy Madison.
Yep.
I
Another
still-
Adam Sandler reference.
even after 15 years, like, Carl was supposed to be my best man at my wedding, and Carl kind of stood me up. Like, this is a whole thing, like,
Wait. He stood you up as in he was already your best man?
as in,
and
I
during
asked
your
Carl,
wedding he didn't show up?
as
or-
in, I asked Carl to be my best man, and Carl was like, I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay,
That's
this was the
that
whole
kinda
thing. Like,
sucks.
we don't. I still don't know what happened. Carl is now my boss.
Mm-hmm.
He is the guy that I report to, and I'm like, Carl, I want you to be my best man. But either way, I'm like, Carl, I just threw Joanna's boyfriend outside the door. He's laying out there. He's laying out on the sidewalk down on campus. He's like, "What'd you do that for?" I'm like, "Because he grabbed Joanna by the arm. He's like, we need to go."
Mm-hmm.
And Joanna didn't
you
want to
said,
go.
Listen, Carl, you need to go.
Oh, no. We're in Carl's
Madison
apartment.
needs to go.
So he's like, all right, whatever. What'd Joanna say? I'm like, Joanna wanted to stay. Your family, dude. Your sister wants to stay. She's going to stay.
Right.
So whatever. So anyway, I asked Carl to be my best man. Carl's like, I don't know. Whatever. Some shit happened. I don't know what happened. But now Carl's my boss. So I'm like, Carl, we need to go out to lunch. I don't know what happened. Don't know what was what. So I still have this like hole right there
Carl still has a piece of his heart.
in my heart for Carl.
We're playing
Like I treat
games
him.
with my
I still treat him like he is my brother, even after this whole 15-year gap
Well, you have a history together.
of
He was your first.
he
was
literally, like I would literally say, Carl, I'm like, I love you, man, but you're my brother. You're like this is
It's
like,
awkward. Like,
it's
what's going on?
and I still treat him the same as I did 15 years ago in the office, even though there's 2 other people that report to him. I'm like, yo, I got this Audi S5.
Got his Audi belly button.
I got this.
I got the Saudi belly button, but
'Cause
everything else
we're-
is all in.
Yeah,
It's all in it.
because we're still like, even though he doesn't drive Volkswagens, I'm like,
Because he's smart. He grew up.
he did. He drives. Well, I don't know about all that.
He drives Toyotas.
because he's driving American cars now, and I'm like,
Man, my 2
Ford.
Volkswagens let me down way more than any American vehicle ever has.
I mean, you're driving a Toyota. What the fuck are you talking about?
Still, fine.
Toyotas
Japanese
are-
has been way better than
are
the
I
legit.
mean, Japanese cars are
That
legit.
Toyota's
as
got
fuck,
240,
but you're driving a Japanese car and a 1970 something Ford.
82.
Toyota
Whatever.
And
is
it's
the
still fired
equivalent
up.
of a Honda.
But it's not as. It's not a
Toyota's
90s.
equivalent of a Honda, but better.
yeah, because a Honda, when the belts go out, everything else goes out.
Right, because you don't break a
But a
stem.
Toyota,
Here's the thing, too, with my Ford. I was driving it home the other day. Now, I drive it like twice a week now, just to save gas. I drive the Camry. The 2009 Camry that was my mom's has 240,000 on it. I drive it as much as I can just because it's good on gas. We went through that polar vortex and all that. I didn't drive my truck. I got in there and fired it right up.
yeah.
And I was driving and went, huh. I don't know if I've checked the oil on this thing since I bought it. I've owned it a year. I'm just driving down the road. It's just trucking along that inline 6, putting right along. Like, it's just no problem. Anyway, back to
I-
Carl
I-
and
I-
Jesus.
I report,
Carl and Jesus.
I report to Carl now. So as Carl came in, I told him, I'm like, hey, just so you know, throughout I applied for the same manager position because I was told to. He's like, well, why'd you apply for it? Because I was told to. I didn't want the position.
That's why you got it, Carl. You're welcome.
I didn't want it.
I didn't want it. You got it.
But I did advocate for you to get this position. Like I went to so and so and said, I know this guy. I've known this guy for 15 years. He should get this position. Like I know what he is capable of. I know what he should do. I know what he can do. You should bring him in as the manager for this position. And they're like, oh, really? Is this going to be awkward for you? I'm like, it's not going to be awkward for me because I don't know what I did.
Right.
Like, I know him and I had a falling out, but I don't know what I did. Is it going to be awkward for him? Have a talk with him to make sure that he's cool with this. Bring him in. I'm fine with it. Like, I've never had an issue with it. So they brought him in, then I took him out to lunch, and we hashed everything out.
So you
And
guys
they've
are
been
good
happily
now.
married for 4 years.
Like 6 months.
So you guys are good now. Though.
So, yeah, everything's cool with it between him and I.
So
And
let's take this back to the original discussion
So,
about religion.
back
Well,
to the
whole-
original discussion.
That had nothing to do with where I was originally taking it, but I was very intrigued.
So,
Just about being a good person. I've got
back to
the
being...
discussion we had. This guy basically said, "Look, guys, this is what I'm searching for. I don't know what it is. I don't have all the answers." And a lot of guys are like, I don't get it. He's like, "Look, I go to this church and they basically said everybody's accepted. Do your thing." And some people are like, "Well, it's all the Bible or not the Bible." And I'm like, "Guys, just because you were taught, you don't have to work out because you're at the gym."
Right.
He's over there starting doing squats now.
Martelle's erecting a
No
squat.
rep. That was not all the way down.
Oh, I'm below parallel.
You were not below parallel on
Below.
that last one. You can get below my parallel.
So,
But
end of
what
the day-
fascinated me was when I was coming to this gym, I was a full-time youth pastor here in Lancaster. Well, Carroll technically, but just outside of Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Jimmy,
Brandon,
you
you
and Jimmy and Jamiel, all three of you and Brandon weren't going to church.
yeah.
And then I started seeing these posts about finding a church and all this, and now I see. Recently, you've been asking posts like, "Hey, it's time for prayer. Who needs prayer? Just what's up? What's going on with you guys? What can I pray for you for?" And I don't know what happened, when, or why. It's none of my business. I don't care. But it's awesome to me that you guys have so publicly went,
Yeah.
"Hey, we found something we believe in, and it's not about who you are. It's not about what you wear, what you
Right.
drive. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, black, white, purple, green."
Right.
God, if I find someone purple, they need some CPR.
I kind of went
I
back into the
found a
bourbons.
purple person. I have met a purple person.
Purple people eater?
He was, and this
That's
is
weird.
a quote from him. He was so black that he's purple.
I had a friend like that.
So he called himself Blurple.
Blurple?
Is his
yeah,
name
I was
DJ?
gonna say Blurple's.
I don't remember his name.
DJ's so black, he's opaque. He's mother of pearl.
But yeah, I
but
mean,
for me,
we
but to see you
found
guys-
a place that their beliefs are our beliefs as well.
No,
And-
it's basically like Martelle said. And what Christ originally taught, don't be a freaking douchebag.
Right.
Love
Yeah.
people. And you guys did that at the gym long before you ever
Right.
went to that church.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it's easy for
absolutely.
us.
You guys are like,
know.
people come in here in all walks of life feeling very insecure about themselves,
Yeah.
looking for something to belong to, something to better themselves.
Yeah.
And you guys provided that. Hey, we don't care if you are a top 5 athlete in the country or you. Well,
Doesn't
when we used to
matter,
do
yeah.
that, like we did one time we did a gun disarm, or it was a women's self-defense seminar for Krav.
Yeah.
And you were here, and this woman came in. She was like in her 80s. Mm-hmm. She could barely move, but she was like, "Man, I want to try. Like, I need to learn something. I'm by myself. My husband passed. It was just one of those. Okay, let's see what we can do that works for you."
Is that the
Exactly.
same seminar where that kid kept hitting me in the balls with the fucking sandbag?
Probably.
No, that one you weren't there for that one. But
God.
that was funny. You sucked so bad at Krav for being somebody so fit. My favorite memory of you with Krav was when I came in to teach Krav like half hour early because I was the instructor, and you were doing CrossFit and you ran up while I was talking to somebody. You act like you were going to swing, and all I did was kind of shunt. Like I blocked the side of my head and lunged towards him, and my elbow caught him in the bicep. So as he was working out, his bicep got bruised. He was like,
That was awful.
went back to working out with a bruised bicep.
Right.
I was talking to one of our old members last night.
I talk to my old member.
He
often.
is now he is now a Lancaster police officer. We'll call him Jubak because that's his name. That's his name. My first memory of him is trying to front kick him, and it was like front kicking a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude is
The dude
big.
is like 6'3", and then he was a powerhouse.
What's his first name?
Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Not to name names, but his name was Chris.
I mean, I don't give a shit. I will name names on this podcast. I don't care.
Well, that's because 4 people listen. One of them's my mom.
Right. So I front kicked him, and I
Jimmy
fell
Barnes.
backwards.
Jamuel Barnes.
I front kicked him, and I fell backwards. And I had never front kicked anybody and fell backwards.
That's because you kick like a
He
girl.
was a big
No, I
some
front
gun.
kicked. No. I front kicked Sean and sent him across the room, and I'm like,
Well, Sean's
Here's the
smaller
thing with
than
Sean.
me.
but
And I'm
here's
5'9",
the thing with Sean.
180.
You look at Sean, you're like, I could pick that dude and throw him like 10 feet. You could.
but Sean
but you're
is
going to die.
But
you're
Sean
gonna
is a
die.
brick.
Eventually, you're
Sean,
going to die.
I've pushed Sean across the room. I've sent Sean on his tail, but Sean has lit.
But Sean is lit
has
as
broke my
shit.
foot twice,
he had a
showing me how
contractor.
to defend myself.
It's funny
the
because
thing.
he's so small. He had a contractor come at him.
Yeah,
He's an architect, right, by trade. He had a
Yep.
contractor get in his face and come at him.
that's dumb.
Tiny little Sean like got up in his face and said, "I am not the man you want to mess with," and just like basically
That's
this dude that was
true.
like twice the size back
Right.
down.
True
like,
story.
But that's the thing.
Yeah, Sean will kill
like,
you.
Sean is
He's
someone.
5'3",
he's
130 pounds.
And 100%.
I'm exaggerating.
He'll kill
but
you.
At the same time,
He's 100%.
He's 100%.
aggression.
I will kill you.
He's the nicest, most humble, one of the smartest guys I know. When he talks, you can tell he's thinking as he speaks.
Yeah.
But when you threaten him, he snaps.
But I sent
He doesn't
Sean.
think as he speaks when you threaten him. He kills as he
he kills.
He doesn't have to think. He knows.
But
what
I
to do.
sent Sean 15 feet.
Right,
So I'm
because
looking
he's so
at,
little.
but
Yeah.
I'm looking at Chris, and Chris is only 3 inches taller than me. So I'm like,
he's
all right,
dense,
Chris,
man.
fuck.
He is
I'll-
dense.
So it was Chris's first class,
I love
and I
training
had
with
just
Chris.
I had just done CrossFit. So I'm like, oh, I got this guy. I'll team up with Chris. No big deal. So I front kick him, and I'm like, I hit a wall. And I'm
Broke
like,
your kneecap in 3 places.
yeah, I go. Chris stands there, and I go backwards. I'm like,
You should see when Chris
Fuck.
came in, and I was the instructor.
Yeah.
so
I was
then
like, well,
Chris
who do I pair
grabs
him
me.
up with?
So then we have to do shoulder throws, and I'm like, oh, damn it. So Chris like grabs me and then like flips me over his shoulder, and I'm like, oh. So because I got teamed
that
up with
sounded
him,
personal.
yeah. Because it's like it's one of those things like
drop my
you
cough
you
drop.
get teamed up to somebody in class, and that's the guy you got to work with like the entire class. So I know that I'm getting worked over.
Now, Chris Cox was worse than Jubak.
No. The only time I got worked over worse was when I got stabbed in the eye with a magazine,
A legit magazine.
like a legit rolled up
taped
magazine
'cause we
that
could
was
not
used as
afford
a
the
knife.
practice knives.
Yeah.
So like I'm getting worked over by Chris because I'm like kicking him, and it's like nothing's happening. Like even if I'm in a legitimate fight, like I'm going up against a
the
terrorist.
Guy's a brick house.
I'm
He's
like,
a
I'm
terrorist.
kicking this guy, and I'm like, shit, I'm kicking this terrorist, and nothing's happening. It's like going up against, like, it's like someone put in an affinity code for this guy in a video
up,
game.
Down, up, down, left, right, left, right.
Right. And I'm like, shit, someone
Start.
put in
He
a
had the
contra
game
code.
genie.
I'm like,
He had the game genie. He had the crop genie.
He's the final boss in
I'm like,
the
damn
pro
it.
class.
Yeah.
I'm going to, yeah, it's exactly what it
Street
was,
Fighter.
too. It's
Right.
like,
Double Dragon.
it's like, I'm a Street Fighter, and I'm going
Double
to die.
Dragon. Oh,
Good
I
one,
love
right?
that game. Such a
Classic.
good game.
I'm going to die. And then he grabs me by my arm and flips me over my shoulder. I'm like,
Ooh.
I'm dead.
Is this
Like-
Gray's, like, what, 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah.
Is that what we're listening to right now?
I'm
Grabbed my
dead.
third
Like
arm
I'm-
and flipped him over his shoulder.
he grabs me by my arm, flips me over his shoulder. I'm like, I'm dead.
You never
and
even
then
took a Croft
I'm dead.
test. You weren't.
I
gonna
didn't
die in
have
a
to.
class.
I didn't have to because Chris killed me
Oh,
during
suck
the.
it up, Buttercup.
He died before he got to take the
I
test.
died before I got to the
You
test.
died in a women's self-defense class.
Pretty much. I mean, that was it. That was the
You're
end
like,
of my
let me
life.
get back to lifting weights. They don't hit me.
I'm like the weights are stationary. I'm
You know
done.
what's funny to me when I did CrossFit is the amount of people who did CrossFit that took one cryo class and went, nah,
Nah, I'm done.
I'm out. Well, Jimmy's going to pee. When he gets back, we should probably wrap up because I'm supposed to be in Columbus by 4, and I got to get back to Circleville.
Yeah, and it's like 3:00.
Yeah, I know. I just saw the clock over there.
Yeah, and that's
Good few
accurate.
episodes.
We got
I
we
got a
got some good
title. I
stuff
already
out of
sent
it.
you a title name for it.
Oh,
This
shit.
is a good one.
We got a couple good episodes. So I want to give a shout out to Kamawazi. We will be doing Kamawaza. We will be doing an episode in March. Look forward to that with Aaron and Drew.
Yes, great podcast. Check them out.
Check them out.
Self-help and
they are
I don't know.
We'll call them a self-help and interpersonal build-up podcast. Definitely check them out.
Yeah, very cool podcast.
Very cool, very, very inspirational podcast. Aaron Genetti, if you don't know who he is, you need to check that man out. God, I
He's
cannot.
He's Endeavor.
He owns Endeavor in Endeavor Self-Defense. He is also the one who orchestrates everything behind what is going on behind the Arnold for
Aaron
CrossFit.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Everything that's going on behind the scenes for the Arnold CrossFit fitness event for
Jamil just sat down and basically threw his headphones over his head. He went to put them on, they just fell right behind him.
And then also everything that's going behind the Validus Games. And I believe there's a change behind the Validus Games this year.
Is it going to Brody's gym now?
No. It's still at Aaron's game. At Aaron's gym.
The way you got that
Aaron's
toboggan, you've
games.
been wearing those headphones, man. I'm gonna start calling you Jim and M.
Jim and M. No, it is still at Aaron's gym. I think Brody's doing the programming. But that's speculation at this point. I don't know what's going on. I'm not.
Either way,
I'm not.
Shout out to Kamiwaza, to Endeavor, and Aaron
Yeah,
Genetti.
absolutely. We'll be doing an
He's
episode
got
with
such
them.
a cute butt.
I just
Looks
love
like in
Aaron
sweatpants.
Genetti.
Aaron Genetti is the
I
man.
want to rub beards with him.
I would love to rub beards if I had a beard.
We will.
You got scruff.
I got some scruff. I got peach fuzz.
You got that peach fuzz. Yeah. So
We'll be doing an episode with them soon.
we'll be doing
We're going up to Hilliard for that, right?
Yeah, we're going to go to Hilliard for that. I don't know how that's
Hang on,
going to work.
Genetti?
You know what else is in Hilliard?
I'll drive. Well, we got habaneros and we have DeCarlos.
Hobby screwed to Carlos.
No.
Habaneros.
We're gonna do both.
Okay, it's
I'm gonna
food.
eat both.
Yeah, you want to come?
Yeah, I'm down.
Hey,
So we're going to be doing an episode with Aaron and Drew on that. We're going to be doing a dual podcast. So we're going to release it on both
so we're recording once, releasing on both platforms.
platforms.
That's so sexy.
Yeah, we're going
tummy sticks, right? Podcast
sticks.
tummy sticks.
we're gonna touch tips.
We're touching podcast wieners. With the Kamiwaza.
That's going to be an
Wieners.
amazing,
Menage a Quattro.
Menage a cast.
amazing.
Yeah,
episode.
I'm really stoked because Aaron's a guy that helped teach me a lot of what it took to become a
I've still got.
Krav Maga instructor.
I can't
and he
mix.
taught me. He taught a lot of classes. Dude, you're just falling apart.
Can I get a ride home?
I'm calling
Absolutely,
Katie.
absolutely.
I'm going to call Katie. Like he's been drinking apple
He's
pie.
he's fucked up.
She's already texted me a few times.
Say,
so-
hey, I'm going to work out some. Just stay here for a few
Yeah.
hours.
She's like, how long does it take to record a podcast?
It takes a while.
Well, usually an
Also-
hour. This turned into 3.
So big shout out to Kamawaza.
Kamawaza.
Kawasaki.
That will be coming soon. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to have to put this on the end of every single podcast because we did like 3 today and we have to break
Yeah,
that
this is
shit
supposed
up.
to be an hour-long episode.
Yeah, we went like 3.5 hours.
3-parter. We rambled a lot.
We
We
like to ramble.
That's all right.
I'm a rambler,
That's-
a gambler, a backbiter.
That's what makes it
Sooner or
amazing.
later, God will cut you down.
I even put up a
That
fourth
needs to be the
microphone
intro.
for nobody.
That might be. Yeah, we have a mic here and nobody showed up.
And no, I was hoping
Right.
Sean Carr would walk over here
That would be amazing.
and he would just be like, "What are you guys
Yo,
talking about?" Because he
Saka.
thinks that this is
All right, wrap it up. I got to
absolutely
go. I have an hour
All right.
trip and it's
Anyway,
57
check us out
minutes to do
on
it.
check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter.
Insta Googles. Go subscribe
Insta
us.
Google.
Buckhorn Podcast.
Insta Google.
Buckhorn
Tweeters
Podcast.
us.
Shut the fuck up.
Hurry up and do the ending. Are
I
you done
can't
yet?
because you're talking.
Holy crap.
I thought
Check
he was
us out.
done.
You just said the F bomb. That's another shot.
That's
Yep.
not. So check us out on
Crown.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Buckhorn Podcast.
Are you done yet?
Promotion.
No.
Love you all.
Promotion.com.
Have a
Martelle
great
gets so
day.
angry.
Drink some bourbon.
Crown Royal
That's not bourbon.
Blenders Mash.
Drink some whiskey.
Whiskey from the top refrigerator shelf.
whiskey from the top refrigerator.
Glug, glug, glug. Kamawaza. Coming soon.
Burp. Randy burp.
Blurp, blurp, blurp.
Let's go. I gotta get. I'm about to
Love
sleep.
you.
Your beard
long time.
looks amazing.
Bye.
I wanted to shower before going to the concert.
You
but,
shouldn't. You should never shower.
I can't now. So here we go.
And check
Ow.
them out. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
YouTube. Yo, 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 tube. Jim and him in the house.
And whiskey.
Peace.